So I was born in Brooklyn and I live on Long Island. I started LIR as an intern. I was at St. John's University. I was in my junior year and I was hired by the music department after my internship ended. I got an A, which was great.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
actually, it was kind of like a paid internship. It was a 6 credit internship. And then within that first year, I evolved through the music department, the production department. That's where I learned my production skills because you were required. And we were a union shop, by the way. We were AFTRA, one of only 2 radio stations in Long Island that were AFTRA. So we were required to do 2 hours of production when we got off the air. So that's where I got my production skills.
And production. This is
Actual
legitimate.
cutting.
This
This
is like
is
the grease
analog.
pen. Using the
Yeah.
grease pen. Yeah.
This is the razor blade with the side swipe on the tape. Yeah, that's with 2-track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then in my first year, I started going on the air. And then I got my first shift on June 1st, 1979, which I celebrated my 40th on First Wave on Sirius XM. I did a segment called 40 for 40, which was my favorite 40 songs for 40 years.
Oh,
And
nice.
that aired 2 years ago. And I've been on Sirius XM for the last 19 years on First Wave, Monday
right.
through Friday and on Saturday.
All right. Spoiler alert. What was number one?
Well, you know, it's great you mentioned that because I didn't really do them in order. But the
Oh.
song I started with was Killing Joke 80s because I had to start there. It just seemed like an anthem for the time, right? So that was the song that kicked off the 40 for 40. I made it clear that I didn't put them in any order. I just put them in kind of a thematic order.
Okay, well, what was one of your favorites then of the 40?
Of the 40, Twilight, U2 from the first album.
Oh wow.
The Blue Nile from Scotland, Tinseltown, The Rain. God, that's such a song that people, I don't know, they probably missed it. I used to play it on an import show on Sunday night. So I was the music director of LIR. So I hosted an import show, imports from around the world. And that was one of the imports that I played on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. So as the music director, we set up a contract with Rough Trade Records in London. So the idea was to take the best imports and ship it Heathrow to JFK so my staff would meet it on Thursday. We also had another importer on Long Island in Rockville Center called Dutch East India. So between the two importers, I would start going through the boxes. And I was like the human filter. And then Dennis McNamara, who's the program director, and I, every Monday morning would do the music meeting and we'd decide what to add, what not to add, and things like that. There was one time that I did get a 12-inch and it was a white label and it was a magic marker in black. It said MARRS. And I put the needle on it. It was Pump Up the Volume. And I went, holy shit. And I said, Dennis, we got to play this like pronto. And I did a dance show at the Malibu nightclub in Lido Beach on Saturday nights. It was on the South Shore of Long Island. Club that held about 2,000 people. That's where U2 performed on the last night of the October tour. That's that famous bootleg that's out there that LIR broadcast live. And I put it on the dance floor and the dance floor went nuts. So we put it on the air. We had to drop the call letters into the song because we didn't want the other radio stations to copy it and rebroadcast it. And it wasn't even signed. I mean, that was the beauty of LIR. We were just doing A&R in music and we didn't call ourselves a new wave station. We were the new music station. That's what we did. That was the beauty of it.
I'm sure there were as many surprises as we go back to the old K-Rock, top songs of the year. There are songs that we grew up listening to it, but we didn't remember. And we thought, well, this doesn't seem, it was new music, but it wasn't new wave. And there were some surprises for sure.
Yeah, there was there were songs that I think KROQ championed in bands, like Dramarama, where on the East Coast at LIR, we would champion a band from Scotland called APB. So we play like Shoot You Down, Rainy Day, but that wasn't really played on the West Coast. So they were kind of like regional hits as opposed to kind of like underground national hits, but we had synergy between the two. And a lot of people wonder, where did I get my name? I did model it after Jed the Fish, I'll be honest. And Jed knows it because I was Larry Dunn, but they called me Duck Dunn on the air after Donald the Duck Dunn, he was the bass player for Booker T and the MGs and the Blues Brothers, right? He was the guy that played the bass and smoked the pipe in those days. So they used to call me Duck Dunn, which I hated. So I just knew about Jed. And I said to Dennis at the time, I was doing full-time radio at that point. I said, why don't I just flip it? It's like a ratings thing. People remember nicknames. They don't remember real names. And then when I got to Sirius XM 19 years ago, I said, can I go back to my real name? They said, well, they don't know you by your real name.
Right.
So I'm stuck with this curse of a duck, Holly and Dave. I don't know.